Hi, in this video, we'll see how the data structure fields, tracer fields, ListenTo Port, ListenTo Block, tracer, and memory dump helps us in debugging the system. Fields of the data structure. In Visual Sim, every data structure has standard headers that has fields called block, ID, and time. The block field helps us in knowing the block from which the data structure is generated and ID in knowing the order or sequence of data. It is a unique value for every data structure which keeps on incrementing, and time denotes the time at which the data structure is generated. So this helps us to determine whether the data is coming from the correct source, whether the data arrives or not, and the sequence of data using the transaction ID. And the time field is used to analyze whether the data structure is arrived within the timing deadline. In this model, we have two traffic generators, traffic and traffic 2, and the data passes through the queue block. So now when I run the model, we can see the packet came from the traffic block with the transaction ID 1, and the next packet is from traffic 2 with the transaction ID 1, and the ID value is incrementing. Well, you can also see the time of generation here. Here you can see the last packet is from the traffic 2 block with the ID 350, and the previous packet is also from traffic 2 with the value 345. So here the in-between packets of 345 and 350 has not arrived at destination. So this shows that the packets are being rejected in the queue block. So it may be either due to the high traffic rate or the delay in the pop or the buffer length is not enough to hold the packets. The next feature is time and task tracer fields. These are the fields in the data structure which gets updated whenever it passes through any resource or architecture blocks with the in and out time of the block and the name of the block. So this helps us to check the sequence, whether the time limit was exceeded at any block, and to compare the delay through each block over time and multiple requests. In this model, we have the flow of data from the queue block, server, system resource, and system resource extent. So now, here you can see the time array and trace array fields. The trace array field shows the flow of data. That is, it shows first it went inside the queue block at 0.6 second, then it came out of the queue block at 0.6, and like this it shows the flow of data, and the time array shows at what time it went inside the block and what time it came out of the block. So using the trace array, you can check whether the sequence of data flow is correct. And also using the time array, you can see the delay through each block for the particular data structure. And if the delay for any data structure is high, you can check the system to see what causes the delay in the block to optimize the system. The next feature is ListenTo Port. ListenTo Port is the first layer of debugging. The user can see a data structure entering or exiting a port without any precondition in any block in the model. It is used to see the data passing through the port in the block. It can be anything like the data structure, integer, string, anything. So in this model, when I run, I did not get any output on the text display. So this shows that I have some bug in the model. In order to figure it out where the bug is, I'm going to find whether the data is coming out of the block. So to do that, we need to do the listen to port. So first I'm going to check whether any data is coming out of the queue block. So right click on the port and select listen to port. Also, I'm going to see whether data is coming out of server block. So now I'm running the model. So here you can see one data came out of the queue block and one data came out of the server block also. So that this shows up to this there is no issue in the model. So we have to check the later stage. So doing the listen to port on mapper block. So here you can see there is no data coming out of the mapper block, which shows that the data from the server went to the mapper block. It is now accessing the system resource, but the task is not finished within the simulation time. So like this, you can use the listen to port to find the issue in the model. The next feature is listen to block. Listen to block is the next level of debugging. Every block has debug information on the occurrence, value of variables, results of the expression, and arrival or departure of data structures. The listen to block also provides the simulator level information. In this model, we have a piece of code to check whether the data structure size is greater than or equal to 800. If yes, the data will be sent to the server block, else it will be sent to the server 2 block. So in order to see the execution of the code during the simulation, to see the results of the condition and also to see the results of the expression, we can do the listen to block. In order to do that, right click on the block and select listen to block. Now run the model. So here you can see the detailed execution of the code. In this it shows, here you can see the time at which the packet came inside the block. Here you can see the result of the condition, whether it is true or false, and also you can see the result of the expression. Here it shows at what time the data is going out of the block. Similarly, you can do listen to block on any block in Visual Sim. So now I'm doing on the server. So here it shows at what time the packet came in and what time the packet goes out. So you are able to see the activity details of the block associated with the listen to port also. So the listen to block gives more insight into the block operation. The next feature in is tracer block, which is similar to listen to block feature. When the tracer block is instantiated in the model, it captures the information of multiple scripts when they are executed and writes them into a text file called Visual Sim trace log, which is under the users.visualsim. So it helps us to check the communication between different scripts in the model and also the sequence of execution. So in this model, we have two script blocks, the packet generation and decision block. In order to see the execution details, we need to enter the names of the blocks here in the list of blocks parameter. Then run the model. After execution, The file will be present in the .visual sim. So here you can see the trace log file. If you open here, you can see the execution of the first script block, package generation. Here you can see the results of the expression, the data structure in and out time. Similarly, you can see the execution of the decision block. Here it shows the whether the condition is true or false. So using this, you can check the sequence of multiple scripts. The next feature is memory dump or variable dump. It is the block which is used to view the current value of global and local variables in the model that varies during the simulation. It gives the data structure as output with each field as a memory variable. In this model, we have the memory dump block here, and all the variables are declared in the variable list block. Here we can mention either as global or local variable like this. So now when you run the model, you can see the values of the variables, either global or local variables, at the particular time of trigger. So it is used to check how the variables vary according to the functionalities and how that affects the response of the system. Thank you.